Welcome acoustic guitar lovers to Cleveland, Ohio, and as always, the home of Jewitt Guitars. Today, I'm going to show you and talk about a guitar that I built about a year ago, and at that time, it was a very important guitar for us, for a couple of reasons, which I'm going to talk about. One, it was the first time we built an OM guitar that's called a deep body OM. And what a deep body means is that as opposed to a standard OM, the depth at the heel and the tail have been increased about a half an inch. And what that does is that gives us the depth at the tail end here of very close to a dreadnought guitar. And it changes the dynamics of the OM guitar quite a bit, as you'll see in just a sec. The other thing that we introduced on this guitar, or we did on this guitar, was we introduced a new stain that I developed a couple years ago called straw. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm also the manufacturer of trans-tint stains, which have been used in the guitar industry for well over 30 years. We sell these guitars and we develop a lot of these stains for people like Martin, Gibson, Taylor, Santa Cruz, Collings, just to name a few, as well as hundreds and hundreds of other small guitar makers all over the country and actually all over the world. But this was a stain that I developed called straw. And the main use for this stain, or the main idea behind it, was to mimic some of the old maple that's unstained that might be 30, 35 years old. And guitar techs and technicians and repair people always need to match that new maple to old maple for repairs or new necks and things like that. And that's where this stain really, really comes in handy. But when you use it as a stain on something like this curly maple, it is just a stunning look. I wish you could see this in person, but the figure and the color on this maple are just absolutely outrageous. Continue on to the neck right here. And I've got this paired with a nice light Engelmann spruce soundboard. And then the Engelmann also has a lot of punch to it, which you'll see in just a sec. To trim all of this off, what I've done is I've put ebony binding and herringbone purfling, an ebony bridge, ebony fingerboard, and an ebony peghead overlay, all of which really complement and look good against this lighter straw-colored maple. Starting at the top up here, I've got the ebony peghead overlay, which I mentioned earlier, mother of pearl logo. I've got an 1 3/4 bone nut, ebony fretboard, ebony saddle, ebony bridge pins, and an ebony bridge. The back of the guitar up here has a Brazilian rosewood veneer overlay, and these are the Goto closed-back tuners. Got ebony back stripe here, which complements this ebony binding on the back, and as I said before, with this gloss finish, it really, really looks nice. And this is also a nitrocellulose lacquer finish. Let's give this thing a listen.